Hi there, it's Lance from Binary Core, and this is my personal Xbox 360 top 10 games. So at number 10, there's Mass Effect 2, where you play as Commander Shepard, who is basically rebuilt by the Cerberus organization to investigate the Reapers. And you go through, it's a really epic RPG game set in space. There's guns, aliens, romance, betrayal, creepy dudes who chain smoke. So number 9 is Tales of Vesperia, which is probably my favourite JRPG from this generation. It's a lot better than the Final Fantasy games that came out in this generation. It's a very anime stylized game. You play as Yuri something. It's not Lowenthal because I think that's a dude who does voice acting. Yuri something, and you basically save a princess, find a magic sword, fly a dragon. It's all pretty interesting, but it's a good game with a lot of story that I spent far too much time playing through more than once. So number 8 is another RPG, but this time it's a Western one, which is Dragon Age Origins, which I loved as soon as I started playing it because of how much it reminded me of Dungeons and Dragons. So in that game, again, you play as a hero and you pick your own class, much like D&D, and you go on a quest traveling around Thedas and of the continent Ferelden, where you have to stop the Blight, which is basically an evil dragon and his crazy evil minions trying to take over everything and kill all the humans. Number 7 is Red Dead Redemption, which is a Rockstar game that I really loved because you get to play as a cowboy, ride horses, shoot outlaws, lasso people, throw them on train tracks, hijack trains. And the ending of this game, personally, is one of the endings of a game that I'll remember for a very, very long time. If you haven't played it, I'd recommend definitely playing it. Number 6 is Portal. I think most people know what this game is, so I don't really need to say much about it. But it is easily one of the most fun and challenging games that I've played in a very long time. Number 5 is Bioshock Infinite, which I never actually played the first two games, but Bioshock Infinite was easily one of the best stories I've ever seen in a game. The ending of it, again, is something that I'll probably still be trying to figure out 2 or 3 years from now. And the game itself was one of the most beautiful games I've ever played. Number 4 is The Witcher 2, another RPG game where you play as Geralt of Rivia, the monster hunter, who gets drawn into a political intrigue in which kings are being assassinated one by one, and he gets accused and has to kind of clear his name by finding out who really did him. But at the same time, you go around fighting elves, and there's a lot of political things that happen in the game. It's easily one of the best games of this generation, and I think that's agreed by a lot of people. And a lot of people have already slated the sequel, The Witcher 3, to be one of the best games on the next gen. Number 3 is another story game, The Walking Dead, by Telltale Games, not the Walking Dead shoot things in the head with a bow and arrow of the crossbow. The Walking Dead, Telltale's Walking Dead is one of the most affecting stories I've ever played through a game, and it's not really playing it, it's more watching an interactive movie, but you get really attached to the characters over the 5 episodes, and I can't wait for season 2 to come out. So at number 2 is Borderlands 2. I love the first Borderlands game. It's a very, very simple concept of an RPG where you shoot things and make them explode. But Borderlands 2 really improved on everything that Borderlands 1 offered. It had a better story, it was funnier, the characters were better, the skill trees were better, even the loot was more fun to get. And last but not least, number 1, Arkham Asylum. I like Arkham City as well, and it took me a lot of thinking to decide which of these was going to come first. But I think Arkham Asylum was really the game that set the bar. It looked great, it played great, and it's one of the few games where you can really feel like you are Batman. I don't think I've ever played a game where you feel like an actual superhero. So yeah, I'd easily play this game again and again, and I'd recommend that if you haven't played it, you should maybe buy the trilogy collector's set that's come out on Steam. Well, not an Xbox game, but still, you should play it. So yeah, that was my top 10. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, look at our other videos, maybe watch one of the other guys' top 10 videos and see if you disagree with what they've said, or if you agree or disagree with what I've said. Comment. Thanks a lot. Bye.